Hey guys, how's it going? So one of the things that a gal had contacted me, well, I'd actually worked with that Fresh Hope, which is that ministry support group within the church for people that have mood disorders. And I've talked in the past a little bit about what I'd call the silver lining, or how we are. There's things about our illness that are advantages, and I think that in many and most often cases it's very, very difficult to find this. But I want to share some of the things that I've found in myself, and some of this may be redundant. Some of you may have heard this, some of you maybe have not, but I think it's still good for us to be reminded of, to find and locate those unique qualities in our personality that are ultimately contributed and are byproduct of our mood disorder. The first thing for me is depression. Now, of the stuff that I deal with, I'm bipolar, and I would say my depression is probably the most substantial. I'm bipolar too, so being low is more common than being high. I tend to be more even, where I'm, feeling all right, and then the lows tend to be pretty low, and they can be triggered by different things. Following that would be anxiety. Now, one of the things that I've shared with, I think in a couple videos ago, is about the whole idea of being sentimental and depression robbing you from those moments when you are sentimental. On the flip side, though, I would say this: my ability to be self-aware with my kids and just my life experiences of things that are truly special, I believe I have a high degree of emotional intelligence, empathy, compassion. I care about people, I care about you guys, and I know that's entirely or significantly driven by my depression. So I think emotional intelligence is something that if we allow ourselves to look outside of our own struggles and look at others and look at how we can help others and how we can seize the moment, that's something that we have that most people don't, especially those that have depression. We are acutely aware of emotions and sensitivities, and clearly they can go off the edge, and we know that. It's well documented. We can really struggle, but I think it's something that, if channeled in the right direction, I think it's a good thing. And I say that, obviously I'm not suggesting that it isn't difficult when you're in the pit and you're lower than low and it's nasty. I mean, it still sucks. But I think we also have to focus on the positive sides of us as well, as terms of, hey, we're not a mistake. God made us the way we are, and there's things about us that we struggle with, but ultimately there's some really amazing things that are an outcome of our mood disorder. The second would be, with my bipolar, I have a tendency to be able to have a high level of endurance. I used to take this to an extreme and work 48 hours straight and crazy things like that, but I've always had a pretty solid work ethic, and I would attribute a lot of my work ethic and my ability to sustain and endure. I've talked about running and how my running is a very close parallel to my grinding mentality and bipolar, and just, I don't give up. I just don't quit. I keep going, and I believe that I may not be smarter than everybody or faster or stronger, but I believe I can outwork anybody. And that's something I take pride in, not being cocky. It's just a confidence thing. And I know that's a big part of my bipolar. So again, endurance is one of them. I've talked about anxiety. I think that clearly anxiety is the extreme level of worrying over the top. You're paralyzed, and you're not able to operate and function because you're so worried about stuff. But I think that on the moderate side of things, it's about concern. And I think that, you care, and you're concerned about others, and you're concerned about things, and you take an active role in, again, making sure things are all right. Again, it has to be directed and channeled in the right direction, or I should say channeled in the right way. But I do think that anxiety is another more amplified version of just being concerned and making sure that, you care about things. You want things to be okay. You want to, you're not just passive. You don't care. It's like somebody that actually is present and wants to be involved. So I think there's another part of active versus passive is you're definitely active, very active when you have anxiety. So we have to obviously channel that in a moderate way. But it's definitely a good thing. Now, there's some other ones that are tough, like borderline personality disorder and PTSD and stuff. And I know it's tough to find the silver linings in those. I think, based on my limited knowledge, a lot of these things I've discussed get funneled and channeled through that because they're parts and pieces of that are part of it, whether it's anxiety or depression or sort of polarized emotions and, so forth. So I think that we just have to really be mindful of, when we're doing well, what is it we're doing and why are we doing it and what do we think it is? Maybe it's, as crazy as it is, maybe sit down and jot on a piece of paper like, when I'm feeling well, what am I good at? And this may be hard. Some of you may like, what am I going to write? But just jot down some of the things that you think, you do well at. And it could be anything. It could be as simple as just, caring about others. It could be as, more complex about having a certain skill. Like I'm a problem solver, so like I fix problems. I'm a techie guy. I'm an artsy guy, so I kind of have this mashup of different interests. I'm kind of a misfit that way, but I know my illness fuels that diversified interest, and I'm able to rapidly, quick go through things. That's my ADHD. I'm very fast. So again, like I could go on and on and on. I've got 4 different diagnoses, and like all of them contribute to something positive if I find it, if I look for it. The challenge is being mindful of that. But don't forget it. Don't forget you're not a mistake. There's things that you possess and the things that you do that are ultimately, it's part of God's plan, and He's there to help you utilize those challenges into something that's a strength. Sorry for this being long, but it was kind of a long topic to talk about. But I appreciate your patience, and take care. God bless.